Milan, I am going to continue from the previous video on creditors reconciliation. And where I stopped was the comparison between the entity and the creditor. Note that from the creditor's side, we are the debtor. So whenever we buy from them, they debit our account. Whenever we pay them, they credit our account. And that account in their books is called the debtor's ledger. So they will have the debtor's ledger with our name in it. Whenever we buy from them, they debit. Whenever we pay them, they credit. Whenever they give us discounts, they credit. So in their books, our account will always increase on the debit side. All right, that's why I said here, the debtor's ledger, which is what we are going to get as a statement from the creditor, will be sent to us by the creditor at the end of each month. Note that the statement received must be compared to the creditor's ledger. Now, what is the creditor's ledger? As I've indicated in the previous video, the creditor's ledger is how we view the creditor. So whenever we buy from the creditor, we credit their account in the creditor's ledger. Whenever we pay them, we debit their account. In their books, when we buy from them, they debit our account. When we pay them, they credit our account. In essence, once we received the statement from the creditor, we are going to compare our credit with their debits and our debits with their credit. Because in our books, they are a liability. So whenever we owe them more, we are going to credit their account. In their books, we are an asset. We are a debtor to them. So whenever we buy from them, they debit our account. And I will explain that as we go. Please note that errors in the creditor's ledger, because we are the ones that prepare the creditor's ledger, and they prepare the statement, which is, i.e., the debtor's ledger. The errors that are in the creditor's ledger, we will correct them in the creditor's ledger. However, the errors that are made by the creditor in their debtor's ledger, i.e. the statement of account, we are going to credit it. We are going to correct it in what we call the creditor's reconciliation statement. So remember, when we prepare the creditor's reconciliation statement, we're preparing it as though we are the creditor. So in their books, how will they treat us? So basically in their books, if we owe them more, they debit our account. So when we prepare the creditor's ledger, we'll prepare it as though we are the creditor. And we are preparing the debtor's ledger, the entity's debtor's ledger. We'll get to that. Please note two things that you need to pick up here. The errors that are in the creditor's ledger must be corrected in the creditor's ledger. The errors that are in the debtor's ledger, i.e. the statement of account, must be corrected in the creditor's reconciliation statement. Now, here's a brief classwork. You need to match columns. What is a creditor? Now, that is the first example I'll just give you. One will be D. A creditor is somebody to whom we owe money. Okay, do the rest. Give yourself around 5 minutes. All right, and after 5 minutes, just press play. These will be the solutions. Now, when we buy on credit, we will follow a couple of steps. Okay, I took this from the DBE grade 12 notes. Very, very good notes, I must say. Okay, they're very, very good actually. Now, when we buy on credit, the business will follow the following steps. Okay, obviously, we need to complete an order form, which must be submitted to the supplier indicating exactly which goods are required. The supplier will make up the order and send to us together with the delivery note. Send it to us together with the delivery note or invoice. The goods will be checked against the delivery note to make sure that the order is complete. If the invoice is correct, it will be stamped and sent to the accounts department. The invoice will be checked against the order form to make sure that the order has been correctly completed. If it has not, then a follow-up must be made. So remember this order form. We send it to the supplier. They will send a delivery note and an invoice. Then the goods will be checked when they're delivered to the business against the delivery note. And if the invoice is correct, it will be stamped and sent to the accounts department. The accounts department must always make that payment, obviously. And that payment, before it's made, it will be checked against the order. Anything that is not ordered and has been there, it must be followed up, right? If correct, the invoice will then be entered in the creditor's journal. Okay, so in this case, that's us buying on credit. Obviously, there's no payment made. Payment will be made later on. The creditor's journal will be posted to the creditor's ledger and the creditor's, well, there they said the general ledger and the creditor's ledger. Oh, yes. These two must correspond at the end of each month. I think I have explained this when I prepare the creditor's ledger. Please do check videos under the creditor's ledger and the debtor's ledger. Okay. Now, step 8, at the end of the month, a statement will be received from the supplier, a creditor, indicating how much we owe. We will check the statement against our records of the creditor's account. If they are the same, a payment will be made out in payment of the account that we owe. If they are not the same, we'll follow up will be done in order to find the correct amount. The statement in the creditor's ledger will be reconciled, and this is done at the end of each month. Just to give you, just to revise on what the creator's ledger and the creator's list will look like. Not the creator's ledger, actually, the general ledger, which is your creator's control. Try this out. Okay, so we know that on the 1st of March, our creator's control was 28,700. And we are given the list there, which is 28,000. And that is at the end of the month, which is the 31st of March, 2023. The list of creators amounted to 28,860. Then we given creators journal, we given creators allowances journal, journal debits, creators, journal credits, creditors, payment, cash payments journal. We've got creators control and discount received. And this is what we've got as well. They told us that the creators journal was overcast by 800. So that total amount, which is 121,800, we need to subtract 800 from it because it was overcast, okay? There was a mistake that was done. And then they say here an amount of 1,200 in the creators allowances journal was posted to the account of wool wholesalers as 2,200. So wool wholesalers has been understated in essence. Was posted to the account of wholesalers as 2,200. Okay, it has been overstated. So we need to correct the creators list. Okay, we don't correct creators allowance because that was not done. The mistake was not done in the creators allowances journal. It was done in the creditors list. So we need to reduce the total of a creators list, especially the account of wool wholesalers. We need to reduce it by 1,000 rand. And then number 3 says an amount of 42 was included by mistake in the creditors column of the journal credits. So we need to go to the journal credits, and because they said it was included by mistake, we need to reduce it by 42 rand. Journal credits. So that 462, we need to reduce it by 42 rand. Okay, I'm just following the instructions here. And they said this was in respect of interest that was cancelled on the debtors on a debtor's account paid by Louis. It has not been posted to his personal account. and we need to use the information above to prepare the correct creditors control account and the creditors list. Note that the creditors control account and the creditors list must always reconcile. They must totals. The balance brought down in your creditors control and the balance, the total amount in your creditors list must be exactly the same. Do not forget that. Now, let's go to our creditors control. Please note that this is the general ledger account. It increases on the credit side. It's a minus plus. It increases on the credit side, and it increases at cost price and decreases at cost price. It increases on the credit side and decreases on the debit side. The balance at the beginning of the month will be on the credit side. We'll write it as 2023 March 01. The balance brought down was, in this case, 28,700, okay, which was given to us, by the way. That 28,700, it was given to us here as the creditors control at the beginning of the month. All right. Creditors control will increase by creditors journal because we're buying on credit. But remember, there was a mistake with your creditors journal. That amount must be reduced by 800. We're going to put it on the credit side of our creditors control. And the amount will be 121,000. Then on the credit side of this creditors control, we're going to put in general credits. Remember, with the general credit as well, it amounts to 462,000. This is the credit part in the creditors control and the creditors control in the general journal, right? So that amount was, we included an amount of 42 rand, which was for a debtor. So it wasn't even supposed to be under creators control. It was supposed to be under debtors control, but we mistakenly included under creators control. So we need to subtract it. So general credits, which is the credit side of the credit total in your general journal, under creators control, we're going to put it on the credit side, and under folio will write general journal, and the amount will be 420. On the debit side, it's always bank plus discounts, which is the payments. So we'll add the payments, which will be bank plus discounts. I added the two amounts and it gave me 117,236. What did I add in essence? All I did was just to take bank, which is from the CPJ, which is 117,236. Oh, actually, I was supposed to have added that 504. Okay, when you add the two, it'll give you the total of your bank plus discount received. And on the credits, on the debit side, we will put in anything that will reduce what we owe the creditor. And that'll be your creditors allowances, which is at 2,128, general debits of 896. Those are the only ones that I see after the payments, which is your creditors control plus your discount received. And those are the only ones that I see, as a matter of fact. So all I'm going to do here is to reduce this account on the debit side by total allowances or sundry totals from the creators allowances journal, which is at 2,128, and the general debits amounting to 896. Now, get the totals quickly and minus the smaller side. You will get a balance carried down of 29,860, which becomes our balance brought down in the following month. And this is how much we'll owe the creditor. And when you look at the creditors list, the total that we were given amounted to 28,000, and here we're looking for 29,000. It's because of this extra 1,000 rand that we included for world wholesalers. We need to reduce this account. We need to actually add that 1,000 rand. Let me just go and try to understand what they said about that account. Let me just go back to it. They said an amount of 1,200 in the creditors allowances journal was posted to the account of World Wholesalers as 2,100. So World Wholesalers was reduced. We reduced what we owe them by 2,000 200 instead of reducing it by 1,200. So basically, we have negative 2,200 instead of having negative 1,200. So all we have to do is to add back that 1,000 rand. Okay, we add back the 1,000 rand that we over subtracted, and that will give us a new balance in the creditors list amounting to 29,860. Now you understand what is going on here, right? Um, Please, to understand this further, please check my general ledger videos. I do have a list. It's written general ledger. It's for grade 10. It breaks everything down as to how each general ledger is prepared. And also take a look at the debtors journal where I show you how to prepare the debtors journal. I haven't done the creators journal yet. I will do it at a later stage. Check them out as well. It'll help you understand how we actually put this together. The general ledger, the debtors ledger will actually give you an idea of how the creditor prepares our account. And the creditor's ledger will just let you understand how we prepare the creditor's account in our books. All right. Now, when we reconcile the creditor's statement with the creditor's ledger, and these are the steps we need to follow. Step number 1, at the end of the month, before the creditor is paid, we need to compare the creditor's statement with the items in the creditor's ledger account. Then we tick off all items which appear in both the creditor's ledger account and the creditor's statement. Remember, I said the creditor's statement, it's a debtor's ledger, but it was prepared by the creditor. And the creditor's ledger is prepared by us. So you compare the credit side of the creditor's ledger with the debit side of the creditor's statement. We'll do it shortly. If the amounts appear in both the statements, you tick them. Note that I can't have 1,200 on the debit side of my creditor's ledger and have 1,200 on the debit side of my creditor's statement. They must always be on the opposite side because the creditor sees us differently. In their books, we are a debtor. In our books, they are a creditor. When we buy from them, we credit their account in the creditor's ledger. But when we buy from them in their books, they debit our account because to them, we are a debtor. Okay? Any differences, you will circle them. You circle the amounts on the creditor's statement that do not appear in the creditor's ledger account. You also circle the amounts in the creditor's ledger account that do not appear in the creditor's statement. Use additional information to record these differences. Now, how do we record the differences? Enter in the creditor's journal or the creditor's allowances journal, post to the ledgers, to the creditor's ledger account. Now we also have to, that is on our side. Okay, if the mistake was done by the creditor, we're gonna record it in the creditor's reconciliation statement. It is the continuation of the creditor's statement. Note that the creditor's statement is prepared from the creditor's point of view. So from the creditor's point of view, we are the debtors. So they will prepare what we call the debtor's ledger. The creditor's statement is just the debtor's ledger. And the creditor's reconciliation statement is just the continuation of the debtor's ledger from the creditor's point of view. Okay, we are preparing it from the creditor's point of view. The correction that we do in the creditor's ledger, we're going to do them from our point of view because to us, the person from whom we buy on credit, they are a creditor. But to them, we are a debtor because we are buying from them on credit. Now you will calculate the correct creditors' balances and they must reconcile. Now, let us look at this too, which is an example. I also adapted this from the, it was adapted from DBE grade 12 notes. It has good examples. This is just to show learners how many things out there are for free that will actually help you pass. Okay. They're for free. You don't even have to pay a cent for them. That will actually help you pass. And some of the things that are done are really, really good. The people that are out there that are just trying their utmost best to make sure that every learner get the most um, from from education in essence. They gain a lot. That's to make sure that you have enough knowledge to pass. Now, here we've got Amen Traders has received a statement from LC's wholesalers a creditor. So we are Amen Traders, okay? We are Amen Traders. LC is our creditor. You got that, right? Now, the balances on their statement does not agree with the balances of their account in the creditor's ledger. So we prepare the creditor's ledger. LC wholesalers will prepare a statement. Now, let's see the statement we received from LC Wholesalers. So you will note that LC Wholesalers is our creditor. So the statement of account was prepared from their perspective. To them, what is Amen to them? To LC Wholesalers, Amen is a debtor. It is a debtor. So the statement received from LC Wholesalers will look exactly the same as the debtor's ledger. So Amen Traders, we are Amen Traders. To them, we are a debtor. So whenever we buy from them, they debit our account. Whenever we pay them, they credit our account. Whenever we return goods to them, they credit our account. You got that? Now let us look. On the 1st of May, we were owing them 21,480, and then we paid on the 5th of May, we paid 12,000. That's why they're crediting our account. And then they took 21,480 minus 12,000 and they got that 9,480. And then they subtracted a discount of 600, which took them to 8,880, right? And then we bought again on the 7th, which increases what we owe them. So from 8,800 plus 3,700, it'll give us 12,580. And then we bought again because it's an invoice. We're buying from them on credit. And we bought again for 8,200. So you'll take 12,580, add it with 8,200. It'll give us that 20,780. And then on the 17th, we returned goods to them worth 810. So you will take 20,780 minus 810. They credit our account whenever we owe them less. That's why it will move to 19,970. That's how much we owe in them. And then we bought again from them on the 19th. So 19,970 added with that 7,800, it'll give us 27,770. Then we bought from them again on the 22nd. And then when you take 27,770 added with 4,700, it'll give us 32,470. We bought again. It increases what we owe them again. So we bought on credit again from them for 5,280. So when you take 32,470, add it with 5,280, it'll give you 37,750. So you will notice that their statement ends on the 25th of May. That is a problem. Because normally we will buy for the whole month and May ends on the 31st. So we bought from the 25th. We still bought or we paid them. We don't know, but they did not record it, which will result in us not having the same balance as that 37,750. Let us look at what we've got in our creditors ledger. Remember, to us, creditors, LC wholesalers is a creditor. So this is the creditors ledger of Amen Traders, which is us. And now we are looking at the account of LC wholesalers. It says on 1 May, we are owing LC wholesalers 9,480. And you will notice for us, for them, they had that balance of 9,480 on the 5th because they subtracted the 12,000. Okay, actually they had it, yes, on the 5th. They subtracted 12,000 and that's when they had that 9,480. So the balances are exactly the same from there. And that's where we will start comparing where the balances are the same. So we'll start comparing, reconciling from the balances, from where the balances are exactly the same. We are going to start reconciling from that 9,480. Okay. Now, what resulted in these amounts not being the same? So we bought from them on credit. Do you see? They credited our account because the creditor's ledger increases on the credit side whenever we buy more on credit. You got that? So we were owing them 9,480, but then we bought from them again on credit for 3,700. Now we ended up owing them 13,180. We bought again from them on credit. When we buy on credit, it increases what we owe them. So 13,180 plus 8,200, it'll give us that 21,380. So it increases. Whenever we credit, it increases. Okay. Then we've got a debit note on the 15th. The debit note is normally a document we issue to the creditor when we return goods to them. So we return goods to them, to LC wholesalers. So when we return goods to them, we are going to debit their account in the creditor's ledger, which reduces our balance to 20,480. I just want to deal with this 3,700 and 8,200. Do you see when we buy from them, we credit their account because to us, they are a creditor. Liabilities increase on the credit side. I want you to check what they did with those two amounts. Check what they did. In our account, in their books, they debited those two amounts because to them, we are a debtor. Do you see? They debited because to them, we are a debtor. And what did we do? We credited because to us, they are a creditor. Do you see? I just wanted to bring that to your attention for now to show you that when we credit their account, they debit our account. When we debit their account, they credit our account. Understand that? Okay, we'll discuss that as we go. Shortly, we're going to be doing comparisons and noticing why the balances are not the same. Okay. Okay. On the 22nd, we bought on credit again from them. So it increased what we owe them. On the 23rd, we returned goods to them. It decreased what we owe them. On the 27th, we bought goods on credit from them. So it increased what we owe us. Now, that's where the problem is. Remember, with their statement, they only stopped recording on the 25th. Do you see on the 27th, we recorded? And I am definitely sure we bought goods on credit from them for 5,280. And we won't have it in the statement of account we received from them. Do you see we don't have it? Because their statement ends on the 25th, but we still bought after the 25th. Oh, actually, I am lying there. There it is there. On the 25th, we have 5,280. Oh, that was recorded, fortunately. So they debited that, we credited it, okay? And since they recorded that, let me see what happened thereafter. Oh, it looks like, again, they did not record the debit note of 1,280. They did not record the payment we made to them, and they didn't give us the discount because that was not in their statement. It's after we have received the statement. So those things were not recorded because they had already closed our account. They'll probably reconcile. And once we send them, once we prepare the creators reconciliation, we're going to send it to them and they will adjust our account accordingly. That's why our balances are not the same. In our books, we owe LC wholesalers 22,620. That's what we owe them in our books. We are amen traders. But in their books, they say we owe them 37,750. And this can't be. It cannot be. These balances must be the same. What they have in their books and what we have in our books must be exactly the same. Now, you will be given additional information that helps you notice who made a mistake. But before we even come to additional information, you're going to compare the two statements first. Okay, this is the statement we received from LC wholesalers. They've got that 600. But you will notice that in the creditor's ledger, when you look at the debit side, we don't have it. That's why we circle it. Okay? Let us look at the statement. They say we bought goods on credit, which is 3,700. We also bought goods on credit amounting to 8,200. In our creditors ledger, those two amounts must be on the credit side. Are they there? Oh, yes, they are there. So we tick them. You tick them in both the statement and you tick them in the ledger. They debit whenever we buy from them on credit. We credit whenever we buy from them on credit. Now, on the 17th, they've got credit note 419, which is 810. I think we do also have a debit note. Remember, they give us a credit note, we give them a debit note when we return goods. We do, but ours is 900. So we are saying we return goods worth 900 to them, and they're saying, no, you only return goods worth 810. Interesting. All right. We bought on credit again for 7,800. It must be on the debit side in the statement. Let's check if it's there on the debit side in the statement. Yes, it's there. That's why we're taking it. And then we bought from them on credit again. So they will debit our account for 4,700. Let's see if we have it. Oh, we're circling it here. The fact that I'm circling it here, it means that I don't have it in my creditors ledger. So we didn't buy goods on credit with 4,700. That's what we are saying. Okay, then we've got a debit note of 780. Do they have it? I didn't see 780. So it's on the debit side in our books. It must be on the credit side in their books, and it's not there. That's why we're circling it. They say we bought on credit again from them for 5,240, 280. So let's see if it's there in our creator statement. Is it there? There it is. And you will notice that in the statement, it ended right here. In our books, in the creator's ledger, we still continued. So they don't have that in the statement. They don't have that in the statement. They don't have that in the statement. It's either us that made a mistake or they did. But in this case, there's a high chance that it's them that made a mistake because they didn't record that. And the reason why they didn't record that is because their statement ended on the 25th. But we still continued returning goods to them. We made a payment of 8,436 and they gave us a discount on that payment of 440. But let's read additional information which will guide us. Firstly, notice this. Mistakes made by us, we are going to correct them in the creditor's ledger. Mistakes made by the creditor, we are going to correct them in the creditor's reconciliation statement. But when we prepare the creditor's reconciliation statement, we are going to prepare it as though we are LC wholesalers. You got that? Now let's read from number 1 as to who made a mistake. They say the debit note 334 issued on the 15th of May was subject to trade discount of 10%. Our main traders neglected to deduct the trade discount. And obviously the trade discount, we received credit note 419 from LC wholesalers. Ooh. But now there's something I'm noticing here. They are not saying anything about that 600 at the beginning, which was a discount, remember? So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my creditors ledger. Basically, we didn't know that we received the discount, right? You're going to start each of these with the balances. That 22,620 is a closing balance in the creditors ledger. Okay, it's this amount here. 22,620. We're going to start the creator's ledger with that balance because we need to adjust that balance. And from the statement point of view, we were owing LC wholesalers 37,750. We're going to start creator's reconciliation with the total that comes from the statement. You got that? Because reconciliation is the continuation of the creditors, is this reconciliation, creditors reconciliation is the continuation of the statement of account we received from LC wholesalers. And creditors reconciliation statement, we prepare it as though we are LC wholesalers. Creditors ledger on our side, this is us preparing it. We're going to prepare it the normal way we know how. We correct our own mistake. Like for instance, the discount of 600, we didn't know that we received that discount. So what are we going to do? We're going to debit LC wholesalers with that discount, which is 600. So that 22,620, we are going to minus 600. We'll be left with 22,020. And then I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to go back to this additional information here. The first one. They say a debit note on the 15th of May. I'm going to go to a debit note will be found in the creditors ledger. According to the creditors ledger on the 15th of May, we've got debit note 334 of 900. So that debit note, that's the one that we're talking about. Okay, let me see what they say about the debit note. Was subject to trade discount of 10%. Oh my word. So that debit note, we are saying we are returning goods worth 900, but no, we're not returning goods worth 900 because in the first place, we never owed them 900. We never bought those goods for 900. We bought those goods for 900 times 90% at 90%. And here we are claiming that we are retaining 900 worth of goods, actually 90% of 900. Let me calculate it quickly. What is 90% of 900? For us to determine the true value of these goods that we actually returned to them. 900 times 0.9, it'll give us 810. So we were not supposed to reduce what we owe LC wholesalers by 900. We were supposed to reduce it by 810. So basically the difference between the two, it is 900 minus 810. We need to increase what we owe them by 90 rand. So we are going to credit their account by 90 rand because we over reduced it by 900 and we were supposed to only reduce it by 810. So we're going to add back the 90 rand, and to add back the 90 rand, we are going to have to credit it. That's what I've read so far, but I'm going to continue. And then they say, Amen traders neglected to deduct the trade discount, received credit note 419 from LC wholesaler. So that return was approved, but the only approved, let me check credit note 419. What do we have as credit note 419? We're going to get this in our statement. Credit note 419 says that it's 810. So they approved 810. However, we already deducted 900. So the mistake was made by us. To them, you're going to tick that 810. So that 810 in their books, it is correct. Tick it. It is correct. We are the ones that made a mistake. So the mistake was made by us in the creditors ledger. So that 900, it's incorrect. We need to correct it in our creditors ledger. So I'm going to go to my creditors ledger and correct it by crediting LC wholesalers by that 90 rand. It's like we owing them more. It's because we over reduced. Now we have to add back the 90 rand, and to add back, we're going to credit it. And this will increase what we owe them from 22,020. It'll increase it by 90 rand to 22,110. Got it. Okay, let's go to the next mistake. And this comes from what we have under additional information. They said debit note 424 was for goods returned to LC wholesalers. So let's check debit note 424. It must be here. There it is on the 23rd, debit note 424 for 780. It is for goods that we returned to LC wholesalers. So it's not us that made a mistake, it's LC wholesalers. So LC wholesalers will have to credit our account by that debit note. So that will go to the creditors reconciliation. So they were supposed to credit our account. You see, we're preparing it from their perspective because to them we are a debtor. They need to reduce what we owe them by 780 because we returned goods to them. When you take 37,750 minus 780, you will be left with 36,917. Good. Awesome, right? All right, let's move on. Going back to additional information, invoice 1495 was erroneously charged to Amen traders. Oh, They charged us invoices when we buy goods on credit. So they debited our account by invoice 4195. These goods were not ordered or received by Amin. So they were not ordered by us, yet they debited our account. So let's go to the statement of account and look for that invoice. The invoice is invoice 1495, which happened on the 22nd. That 4,700. They debited our account with that 4,700, and we never ordered those goods and we never received them. So they need to correct that. They need to credit our account by that 4,700 because we did not order those goods. So they debited our account by that 4,700. We're going to credit it and take it down. When you take 36,970, you minus 4,700, it'll give you 32,270. Moving right along. I'm going to go to additional information again. Oh, we are on the last one now. Goods to the value of 1,280 were not supplied as per the invoice 1509. Issued debit note 518. So they did not give us those goods. Okay, they did not give us goods worth 1,280. Here it says they were not supplied, so we did not receive them. It was invoice 1509. So let's check that invoice 1509. Invoice 1509. We're gonna get that in the statement, right? Invoice 1509. The invoice 1509 is 5,009, which is 1509. Yes, that's the one that I'm talking about. It is that 5,280. Of this 5,280, we did not receive goods worth how much? Let me go back there. We did not receive goods worth 1,280. So they debited our account by that 5,280. So that is wrong, okay? They debited our account by that. That is wrong. Meaning that, let me check if we credited our account by that 5,280. We also did, and that is also wrong. Even though I've ticked it, it's wrong. But we corrected it by debiting their account as though we are returning goods to them. It's because we never received those goods. But did they give us a credit note to reduce? No, because their statement ended on the 25th. So meaning that they need to reduce our account by that amount because we did not receive those goods. We did not receive those goods. So we're going to have debit 518 credit. They need to credit our account by that 1,280. Now we're going to owe them 30,990. You got it? All right. And then obviously the statement ended, guys. And this is the end of additional information. And when you look at the things, everything that we circled in the statement, everything that we circled, we tackled it. But we have not tackled everything that is circled in our creditors ledger. That 8,436 is not there in the creditors in the statement, and that discount of 444 is not there in the statement. So we're going to put them in the statement. And how do we put them in the statement? By recording them in the creditors reconciliation statement. So we're going to say EFT payment, because this was after we've received the statement. There's no way they corrected this, okay? So they will correct it the following month. EFT payment, they have to credit our account by the payment we made, which was 8,436, and that'll mean that we'll owe them 22,554. They also need to credit our account by 444, and that will mean that we are going to reduce what we owe them by 444. We'll end up owing them 22,110, which is basically what we owe them according to our creditors ledger. But this, they need to correct it. This amount must be the same. Now the balances are exactly the same. We are going to send this creditors reconciliation statement to LC wholesalers to correct all these mistakes. And then they'll come back to us and let us know which mistakes they think that they did not make. And those will be corrected in next month's creditors reconciliation statement or next month's creditors ledger if we are the ones that made a mistake. You got it. That's it, guys. That is it. Okay, I'm just going to give you a different point of view. So anything that reduces our creditors reconciliation statement, sometimes you only be given one column. So anything that is on the credit side of your creditors reconciliation statement, you're going to put it in brackets. Everything that is on the debit side, you're going to put it without brackets. Okay, brackets means we are owing them less of that amount. So this is if you're only given one column in your paper. This is how you will do it, and you don't have two columns. Know that everything that will be on the credit side of your statement, we are going to put it in brackets because everything that is corrected in the statement will be corrected in the creditors reconciliation statement. Are we together? We good? You're not sure, right? You're not really sure. Okay, just rewatch these videos, take important notes, and try this classwork on your own. Remember, mistakes that are done by the creditor, we correct them in the creditor's reconciliation statement as though we are the creditor. The mistakes that are done by us, we correct them in the creditor's ledger because we prepare the creditor's ledger. Remember, when we owe the creditor more, in the creditor's ledger, we credit the account. When we owe them less, we debit the account in the creditor's ledger. On the other hand, they treat us differently in their books, and that is because in their books, we are a debtor. When we owe them more, they debit our account. When we owe them less, they credit our account. That is because from their perspective, we are debtors. How do you know who made a mistake? Beside the fact that the mistake we only recognize after we received the statement. Obviously, if it's after we received the statement, it means that the creditor did not record those amounts. We are going to record them in the creditor's reconciliation statement. But you will be given anything that happens in between. You will be given additional information which will tell you who made the mistake. Okay? Prepare the creditor's ledger of Peter suppliers and also prepare the creditor's reconciliation statement. So we prepare the creditor's ledger for Peter suppliers, and then we're going to prepare the creditor's reconciliation statement, which is basically the statement that was supposed to have been prepared by Peter suppliers. We're correcting it on their behalf. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and let them know that you've got accounting, a cool accounting channel that will help them pass. I hope it helps you. Just pay attention to what we are going to do in the next video. For now, Hoto.